Hello Tube, I haven't done any videos for a while, so when I heard these words, so all problems are dissolved through prayer, all difficulties are dissolved through prayer, all maladies are dissolved through prayer. Prayer is like fire, it burns through everything. Prayer burns through everything. It's like fire. The weather doesn't look too good, does it? In Birmingham, Selly Oak. Shops were opened a couple of days ago, so I'm going to go to Primark, possibly Holland and Barrett, possibly Boots, and possibly Clone Zone. Yeah. Everyone's waiting for. I need to get a new one of these actually. This card is falling apart, I need to get a new one. So yeah, so the weather don't look too good. Looks like rain. But as I say, prayer is like fire. It burns through everything. If you think it can't be solved, or if you think you can't solve a problem any other way, pray for that person, and it will be solved through prayer. I know this because I can think of people in my past who I had very strong feelings for, both positive and negative, and as I prayed for them, I know from experience that those problems have been dissolved. For instance, some people seem more peaceful now, seem more at peace with themselves. That's what prayer does. It doesn't just make you feel more peaceful, it makes the person that you're praying for also more peaceful. So, did I say Boots as well? I need to go to Boots to get myself some hair stuff. Yeah. What's that? Ambulance. Bit closer. Got my driving lesson 9:15 in the morning tomorrow, 2 hours. I'm looking forward to that. I was actually surprised the other week how well it went. I've heard people say that sometimes you can have bad lessons and then suddenly it just clicks and you suddenly... That's how it felt. It felt like something just clicked. All the mistakes I made previously on my driving lessons, even I haven't done driving lessons for about 8 years, something like that. But all the driving lessons, no, all the mistakes I made on my previous driving lessons, I didn't make any of them. For instance, I was using both hands to turn the steering wheel before, whereas this time I was using my one hand to steer and the other one to feed it through. And I was, yeah. I think it was probably because I didn't think I'd remember. He calls it muscle memory. He asked me how many lessons I've had before. I reckon I've had maybe about 10 in the past. It was about 8 years ago though. I had Bill Plant driving lessons, and then I had someone called Alan Haynes driving lessons, and then I had someone else, but I can't remember who he was called. And it was about 2012, so about 9 years ago. But the reason why I haven't done it for such a long time is because the last driving instructor said, he says, oh no, I don't think you can do it. But in hindsight, I'm thinking that he just said that because he was retiring at the end of the year. Because I've had AA driving lessons last Friday, and I asked him, and he says, yeah, from what I've seen today, what he said was, what I've seen from today is I think you can drive. So there you go. So I think that was a big fear of mine for about the last 8 years. But I thought I did try to have lessons last year, but with coronavirus, and that was difficult to get any lessons. But I reckon the end of the year I'll be driving, so it's good. Plus, I don't mind because there's people look at you when you start at a bus stop. I don't know whether everyone in Witchbold is snobs, but they look at you and they look at you and have a grin on their face or a giggle as though to say, he's waiting for a bus. But it don't bother me. I've done it all my life. It doesn't. I don't know any different, if you know what I mean. I've done it all my life. Catch buses. It's a little bit inconvenient. That's why I want to learn to drive, but I'm used to it. So. Still not speeding very well. I think it's the 29th of April today. So I'm just trying to memorise the shops I want to go to. Primark, Boots, maybe Superdrug, Holland & Barrett, and Clone Zone, I think. Yeah. I think that's it, I think. Might go to Burger King. I like their veggie burgers. Yeah. It's Burger King. It actually seems easier than when I took Luna last couple of times. When this bus isn't busy now, but sometimes it gets busy and she starts she barks if people get too close to me. Because I was sitting there last time, the other week, and there was people in all these seats, and Luna didn't like it one bit. She was barking. It was a bloody nightmare. It was. Because I was thinking whether it was because whether it's because Luna, because sometimes she'll bark at a black person, and I was thinking, is it because she's racist? But then it's not that, because I sat over there the other week when I took Luna to the thing, when I took her to a progesterone test, and there was a black person sat right here. Where I'm sitting now, there's a black person sat here, and she was sat there, and she wasn't even bothered. So she can't be racist, Luna. So. Hey ho. So yeah. So I think it's just because she doesn't like people to get too close to me, or anyone that she's close to. She don't like to get. She likes to have you to herself. That's the type of dog she likes to have you to herself. She don't like to share. So okay, peace. Love, blessings, people. Oh, face. Yeah. I'm not even overweight. I mean, I don't think so. I'm about 11 stones. I don't know how I've got this neck. I've got this little tiny bit of fat on my neck. It doesn't seem to want to go. Maybe it's just of being old, because I'm 40 now, so yeah. There's traffic on that side. Oh. Tell all the shops are open again, can't you? Look at all the traffic. People don't believe me when I say I'm 40. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, it's true. I'm not joking. Oh, the rain peppers. That's cool, isn't it? They don't believe me when I'm saying like I'm 40. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah. Wow. In fact, I'll be 41 this year. They're like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's true. I'm only doing this video because I'm bored on the bus. Not much to do on the bus, it's not like I'm driving. I got behind that wheel last week and I was like, oh, this feels so good. But I'm keeping at it, I'm going to keep at it this time. I'm not going to give it up, I'm going to keep at it. just feels very empowering. Saying that though, I reckon even when I do learn to drive, I think I'll still catch buzzers, because sometimes I just feel like sitting back and just doing nothing, whereas you gotta really concentrate with driving. So I can see why people who drive catch buzzers and trains sometimes, because the concentration required. I mean, look how busy these roads are. That concentration all the time. Saying that though, it might be because I'm new to driving. After so many lessons, you probably don't have to think. Probably people who drive all the time, they probably don't even think about it. But yeah, I wanted to do more, but he was like, because of coronavirus, there's so many people having lessons that he can't fit me in. In fact, the only day he could fit me in was 9:15 in the morning tomorrow. That's the only day he could fit in. Friday, 9:15. He had no more spaces. So come up to Cannon, going near Cannondale Park. Peace, love and blessings everyone. Peace, love and blessings. Peace, love and blessings.